Hey guys, it's Albert here with another video. Okay, so today's video I'm really excited about because it is another book review, but it's different from any other book review I've ever done because this is about a scary book. Or what you consider like scary, I consider it more suspenseful, but this is a book review on the book Misery by the author Stephan King. Stephan King is a famous author who also wrote It and The Shining, if you're not familiar with any of his work. There have been movie adaptations of a few of his books, including Misery. The movie, just for purposes, starred Kathy Bates, who I've loved since I was 5. I've watched her in the Disney version of Annie since I was little, so that's where I knew her from, and that's why when I was older I decided to watch Misery. Also, I forget his real name at the moment, but the father from Elf is in that movie also, and that's about all I know from the movie. And I've seen the movie around 2 times, so I decided to read the book. Why not? So the book is mostly similar to the movie, except there are a few key differences. So, for standard purposes, since I did see the movie before I read the book, I literally, sorry about that, I literally was, imagining Kathy Bates and the guy from Elf, all throughout the story, but, there's one part in the book where there's a dead rat, and she's in the room with the dead rat in her hand, watching him sleep. I think it's been a while, but I think that was one key difference. And then, in the book, in the movie, she kind of breaks his legs and stuff, but in the book, I believe she cuts them off, takes a knife and cuts them off. Or maybe in the book it's the hammer, and in the movie it's the knife. Because I remember there's a knife thing in the movie. So, yeah, the book was very, very, very different from the movie. There were some similarities and some no similarities. Did I know Misery was a book before I knew it was a movie? I think I did, just because Stephan King is purely an author. And, I asked my mom if she's ever read any Stephan King books before I started my endeavor on reading one of his books, and she said that she read The Shining and it scared her so bad. So I didn't want to read that because I'm a scaredy cat, as it is. I've seen the movie, though. The movie didn't freak me out as much as I thought it would. I heard it can be very scary. The book I'm not so sure, but the movie I heard can be, and that actually has an original and a remake. And then Misery, I think she said she read Misery and it wasn't as bad, which is not a bad book at all if you are into that sort of thing. I'm just not usually into scary stories or horror things or suspenseful things, so I liked it all in all, but it's just not usually a thing I would personally read. But Misery was made into a movie with phenomenal actors. There's actually a new Stephen King movie coming out that I think is a remake with Zac Efron, so just because Zac Efron's in it, I'm going to have to watch it. I heard Stephen King was very impressed with it, though. So, Misery. I can't remember that much, all I'm saying is it's the same as the movie, for the most part. If you have seen the movie before you read the book, just be prepared, because, like I said, there are some things in the movie and some things in the book. And like I said, I'm one of those people that likes to visualize things, and because I saw the movie before I read the book, I kept imagining the characters as Kathy Bates and the guy from Elf, the father from Elf. Sorry guys, I'm having trouble remembering his real name. If you guys know the real name, then you can comment down below. Comment down below what his name is, because James Caan, that's his name. Never mind, his name is James Caan. Did I like the premise of the movie? I mean, in the book? Overall, it was the same, so yes. It's kind of weird that the guy's an author and that Stephen King's an author, so I think Stephen King kind of put his own career onto the main character of this book. Besides Kathy Bates' character, I forget her name. Did I hear of Misery before seeing the movie or reading the book? Yes, there was a parody, I believe, of the movie on Family Guy once, where Stewie was Kathy Bates' character and Brian was James Caan character. If you guys ever have seen Family Guy, there's an episode called Three Kings, and they do a retelling of 3 Stephen King novels. So overall, the movie is really close to the book. The book was a bit more detailed, like all books are, that are adapted to movies. But overall, it was a good read. I went into it just thinking, okay, you're gonna read this like you would watch the movie. These characters, the author, not personally, but what their work is and how they go into these worlds. When I first saw Stephen King, I was like, this is the guy that writes these amazing novels that are adapted into movies that are just as amazing. Not what you would expect for him to look like. And that's just to say I judge books by its cover quite literally, and I'm not happy with myself because I try not to live by that quote or that saying. And without giving anything away, it's just very much like the movie. If you guys watch the movie and haven't read the book, if you guys are not into that kind of thing, just don't read the book. Without giving away the ending, though, the ending of the book is probably the most different part. As opposed to the movie, the ending goes through more of his life after he gets out of that house than the movie that's on. How I think the movie is a year or so later, or 6 months or later. The book actually goes to right after he got out of that horrible situation, which I thought was really interesting to see. All the PTSD he went through after getting away from this crazy woman. There's no disrespect to the character or Kathy Bates, who played her in the movie. It's just, this woman was a wackadoo. But yeah, so they show a lot of the PTSD he went through, and PTSD is very serious. You never get through it. You can take medication, you can go to therapy to talk about it, but I believe you never really get past it. I wouldn't know because I don't have PTSD, but I can imagine what people go through, how traumatizing it can be, very traumatizing for some people. But all I'm saying is there's differences, there's similarities, and the end of the book is probably very different from what you remember from the movie. If you guys want to watch the movie before you read the book, just to get a little recap, be my guest. I watched it a few years ago, and then I read the book, and then I rewatched it a few years ago. Maybe last year, during lockdown, which was not the smartest. I mean, at the time I watched it the second time, we were allowed in stores, but it was all mask mandated and all that, so, yeah, very weird for me in some retrospect. I was like, this was stupid to watch, because I did have to go to a store after I watched it. I was like, this was stupid to do. Not that, it scared me, but it's just, like I said, it's been a few years, and the first time I watched it with the lights on and with a parent, and the second time I watched it was in broad daylight with my brother, who really doesn't pay attention to the movies, and, with my dogs, so... I mean, that just proves it. But the book is very, very well written and amazing, and Stephen King certified from a fan of some of his movies. Alright, or some of his books that were adapted into movies. I've only seen 2, but nonetheless, very good books. Alright, so if you guys have read Misery, tell me what you thought of it below in the comments. If you guys seen the movie Misery, tell me what you thought of it compared to the book below in the comments. And alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this book review. I know it wasn't much, but hey, I'm trying. Alright, peace out, guys. Bye.